Alright guys, we got a fantastic question from a subscriber. I'm in the used refurbished marketplace. Which phone should I get? S24 you can find just like this one I got used, 424, and then the iPhone 14 is the other option. It's 420, and this is for people who like these smaller flagships. So let's go ahead and just dive in. First off, the size. These are very comfortable phones to hold. Yeah, if you're somebody who don't like big phones, these phones are awesome. Easily can one hand these, and they both have premium material, both glass and metal phones. You do have a glossy finish on the iPhone, which you can't really see fingerprints on this color, and then you have a matte finish on the S24 here, and they're both kind of squared off on the sides as well too, so they kind of give that kind of like boxed off or squared off feeling, kind of sharp. But besides that, hardware has been very good on both of these phones here. I really don't have any complaints. I do really love the color options also with these phones as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the hardware. They're also, both IP68 dust and water resistant as well. Now, when it comes to overall display quality, the S24 is a much better phone here. So the S24 one has a more updated display, so you don't have that gigantic notch right here, and the bezels are overall a lot slimmer on the S24, and I just think it has a better display. It's got a dynamic LTPO display. It's 120 Hz HDR10 plus. It's much brighter than the iPhone 14 at 2600 nits. It's a 6.2 inch 1080p panel at 416 for the PPI. The iPhone display is not bad, but as you can see, it has the more outdated notch. It's the Super Retina XDR OLED. You have HDR10. It gets up to 1200 nits peak brightness, so it's not as quite, as bright in direct sunlight. This phone does have a sharper resolution, so it does have a 6.1 inch display. It is 1170 by 2532 at 460 for the PPI. But regardless, I would go with the S24's display hands down. I really like the vibrant colors. And overall, the LTPO, the 120 Hz is probably the biggest reason why you would go with this display. I know a lot of people, if you've never tried 120 Hz and you've just been using iPhones for forever, right? It's a big difference, guys. So just scrolling, just doing your everyday normal stuff, it's a gigantic difference. Animations look a lot smoother on the S24. In my opinion, it's just a way more enjoyable, experience, right? So I definitely, if you're a display person, you really like displays, the S24 has a superior display by far. Alright, so let's talk about the specs here. Since the S24 is a newer phone, you do have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 on here. It does have 128 gigs of internal storage and 8 gigs of RAM. And then you also will get 7 years of major OS update from the launch date, so it launched with Android 14. Now, the iPhone launched with Android 16. You typically have around like 6 years of OS updates, I believe. And this phone, it does have the Apple A15 chip. It's 128 gigs and 6 gigs of RAM. As you can see, you get a slightly higher multi-core or single-core score. And then when we come over to the multi-core, the S24 has a much better score here. And if we come over to our 3D Mark as well, show you guys Wildlife Extreme for you guys, you do get higher scores on the S24 as well too. I think for general app loading, the S24 is still going to be the better phone as far as speed and overall it just being a little bit smoother because of the 120 Hz. So like I said, it plays a big part in like animations. As you guys can see, it's a lot smoother. Okay, we got the YouTube. Okay, so as you guys can see, S24 just a little bit quicker here. iPhone got it there. Okay, and let's go ahead and open up Pokemon. iPhone got it there again. Very smooth animations. And then the biggest difference here, for all my gamers is, games like here, PUBG here. Alright, so here's the big difference between these base model iPhones and the base model Galaxy flagships. You could play PUBG at 120 hertz, Call of Duty at much higher frame rates. Overall, if you're a gamer, the gaming experience will be much better. Genshin, whatever you are into, it's just gonna play a lot better on the S24, hands down. So anybody into gaming, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 does a fantastic job. The iPhone is not bad at all, but again, it's limited because of the display. So we can only play at 60 frames here, and it is smooth. It's fine if you're a casual gamer, but anybody doing competitive gaming, the iPhone 14 is just not going to be the best option at this $400 price point. All right, so let's talk about the software here a little bit. So the good thing about the S24 is that it has all of the AI features. So Galaxy AI is here, and unfortunately the older iPhones did not get the AI stuff. So the base model iPhones won't get any AI stuff. Even if we go back to the S22, it'll still get Galaxy AI stuff features. So it kind of sucks if you're a base model iPhone person. You like the smaller iPhones, you would be forced to get a newer Pro model phone basically. But yeah, so that's one benefit again with the software with the S24, is that you get to experience the Galaxy AI. And I do want to talk about the speakers, so let's go ahead. We got them at max volume, but start with the 14. So these are two pretty loud speakers, especially for the size of these devices. They are tuned a little bit different. I think the iPhone is a little bit heavier with the bass, but the overall sound just sounds better. It sounds a little bit more cleaner on the S24. It just sounds like everything's a little bit more balanced. Yeah, it really comes down to your personal preference, but both of these speakers have, really good, sounding speakers, great quality, mids and highs, great bass. So I don't have an issue with either of these. My personal pick would be the S24. But yeah, so also another thing here is that you do have two options for your unlocking method. So you could do the fingerprint scanner on the S24, it's ultrasonic, or you could do the face unlock. With the iPhone, you do have the face unlock. It is definitely supposed to be a lot more secure, but it works really well. But I just do like having that two methods of getting into your device. So this is what this comparison is pretty much going to come down to for a lot of people, is the image quality. And this is an area where just take a look at the side-by-side stills and photos. Let me know what you guys think. Does an older iPhone, can it beat a newer base model phone? Do you guys think the pictures look better? So you have a 12 megapixel standard on the 14, a 12 megapixel ultra wide. It does lack a telephoto lens, so you can only do 5 times zoom on here. It can shoot in 4K, 24 up to 60, and then you also have a 12 megapixel selfie that can shoot in 4K, 24 and 60. The S24 has a 50 megapixel sensor, a 10 megapixel telephoto, 3 times, and it'll allow it to go all the way up to 30 times zoom here. And then we also do have a 12 megapixel ultra wide. It can shoot in 8K 24 through 30, and then you can also have a 12 megapixel selfie cam that shoots in 4K 60. So check out these side by side stills. Let me know what you guys think. All right, so this is an area that I really love is the battery life. Battery life on both of these phones is really good, guys. You don't have to worry about screen on time. The iPhone 14's battery life has been excellent, and so has the S24's. The standby time is pretty good as well. You have a 4,000 milliamp hour battery on the S24, 25 watt charging. You do have wireless and reverse wireless charging, and then the iPhone has a almost about a 3,300 milliamp hour battery. This also has wireless charging with MagSafe, and then your just standard wireless charging, no reverse wireless charging. But man, battery life is excellent on here. And this iPhone, I believe the battery was replaced, so yeah, it's at 99% battery health. So this iPhone has been doing pretty well with screen on time. So yeah, guys, I think battery life is excellent actually on both of these. So yeah, what do you guys think? Would you go with an older iPhone or a newer S24?